tell us why.
No, you know what? We did it once before. I don't know if you recall, but we did it once before in the past, and it's been a while.
Uh-huh.
But it's just so much going on, and I was just like, sometimes in the midst of a lot of like drama and chaos, it's always good to self-love. And I
Yeah.
think that highlighting the good things that we are doing as a people, because we are doing good things as well, is a part of our self-love, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So I figured, why not? Let's do it ourselves and let's encourage others to do it. It's like taking a break
A
from
breather,
the chaos,
right?
you
A
know.
necessary break.
Right,
Yeah, because what I find is that that's like any other habit. Once you get in the habit of spreading the negativity, and all the time, it becomes a habit, and
right,
so you find yourself wallowing in all the bad things that's going on,
right,
and ignoring all of the good, when there definitely is a balance. There is a
right,
balance, and it should be a balance.
right, right.
Okay,
And
well,
it's
I'll
interesting. Go ahead.
no, I was going to let you start with your first subject.
Actually, oh no, my phone just died. Sorry.
Uh
Okay, my phone just died and I have my notes in it. Okay,
oh.
sorry. So one of the things that one of the things that I just put in there, and this is probably going to sound a little bit crazy, but the as far as us with good news, but I think this is good news. But there was a cardinal that was just found guilty.
Okay.
Right, on one count of sexual assault and four counts of indecent, I guess it's indecent, not exposure, but interaction with a minor.
Mhm. Mhm.
And he is the treasurer to the Vatican. So he's one of the most powerful people in the Catholic Church. And I actually was relieved to read the article because I'm just like, okay, a victory. I know there are like other small victories, but just the amount of time that this specific person and the position that he holds and the power that he has, I felt like that was a victory, right, for victims of abuse.
Mm.
Because we all know the Catholic Church has a big issue, and oftentimes you see them move them around like chess pieces instead of holding them accountable for destroying these young people's lives. When I was reading the article, the one of the guys, these are three teenage boys. This was like back in 1996.
Mhm.
Two teenage boys, and they snuck into, like, let's say his office, and they drank the wine, right? Which
Mhm.
probably a whole ton of other teenagers have done in their church. And he caught them, and he told them that they're in trouble, and he made them do. He asked them for sexual favors. So he pretty much made them perform oral sex on him, and then he um, proceeded to masturbate himself and also them. And then there was another time of some groping and so forth. Just really, really terrible. So when I was reading the article and they said that they found him guilty, I got really excited about that because the Catholic, like we all know, even with the Me Too movement that happened, the Catholic Church was one of the things that came up again. There's always they just have a sexual abuse issue. So for someone in his position and as powerful as he is, he's the treasurer to the Vatican. I
Mhm.
thought that was a victory. I thought that was good news. So I
Yeah.
had that on my list.
Yeah, yeah. I think that is good news. It's really
Yeah.
now. Don't the Catholic Church have their own reprimanding system though? Does he actually get locked up? I thought that the Catholic Church has their own system of law enforcement.
Are you saying because it's the Vatican?
Right.
I'm not completely sure how that works.
Yeah.
I'm not completely, because when I was reading the article, I will say, what do they mean guilty? Is he going to do time?
Right.
That was my first question. That was my first question. Yes.
Yeah. From my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong. Anybody out there who's watching who know better than me, but it's similar to like the military system where they have their own court of laws and things outside of civilian. I
Mm-hmm.
think the Vatican is the same way, so I'm not sure how that's going to work.
How that works. I was more focused on the fact that they actually found him guilty because
Yeah.
there's so many of them that are guilty, and I'm talking about years and years. This is back in '96. I'm
Mhm.
talking about God knows how many other kids he abused.
Yeah.
I'm talking about years and years of abuse and never held accountable. One of the victims is still alive, it's still testified, but the other one died of a heroin overdose.
Wow. See how that
Yeah, and
works?
so yeah, so I was just like, yeah, you have to bring these people, to justice one way or the other. And it could just be for when I read the article, I will say something inside of me did say this might be um, just to kind of ease people's minds,
Mhm.
maybe. You know what I mean? To just kind of post this in an article, like, look, he was found guilty. Something inside of me felt that way. So it can be attributed to what you're talking about, where they kind of have their own system, and is he actually going to spend any time in jail?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Well,
I was excited about the guilty verdict
right. Well,
because a lot of
thank you
times
so much for bringing
yeah,
that to our attention. That is important, and it is a good news story, I think. I
yeah, it's
I
good
want to
news.
highlight Umar Johnson School. Are you familiar?
Umar Johnson, shout out to Umar.
Shout out to Dr. Umar Johnson,
Yeah.
who's been doing a whole lot of fundraising the last
Okay.
5 years in this school. He wanted to um, have an all boys school, Pan African all school for boys, and that was his goal 5 years ago. And he went on this fundraising campaign, and it's been met with a whole lot of criticism throughout the years, and a lot of people have been doubting him, and he finally got this school. So he has announced that the school is in Delaware,
Okay.
and it's a campus actually. It's the FDMG, Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy for Pan African Excellence. I believe
Okay.
it's right outside of Wilmington, Delaware, if I'm not mistaken. He's taking boys ages grades third through fifth grade. He said his goal is to initially start off in that age range because he says that's the age range where the children begin to mentally drop out. He said they don't physically drop out of school until around the ninth grade,
Yes.
but mentally it begins in the third grade, and that was his reasoning for wanting to start this school with third through fifth graders.
Oh,
Um,
third. I was gonna ask what grade. Okay, third.
yeah,
So is this like a boarding school, or this is just like a daily attendance?
It's
You
a
attend.
it's going to be a daily attendance. It's definitely
Mm.
a campus though. It's more than one building,
Okay.
and so he has it's a pretty large space based on what I saw via video and what I've heard him talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I know early on I heard him discuss that he wanted it to be a campus, one of these overnight schools you go
Mm.
to and you stay. But I don't know if he had to kind of change those dreams and goals because of money. I don't know, but the last I heard him speak, most recently, it's going to be a day school.
Yeah.
He's going to be focusing on 6 key sciences, he called it, the components to learning: economic and finance science,
Mm-hmm.
dietary nutritional science,
Cool.
agricultural and agronomical science, community family science, political and spiritual science, and the science of being men. So he said those are the 6 components that the curriculum is going to be centered around.
Yeah.
Um, and another thing I found interesting is he says he's making the teachers responsible for the children's success. He says in his school, the children are not to blame for their failure. So he's putting a lot of the parents, he said, the parents he's not blaming for the children's failure in school. He's putting all that onus on the teachers.
Wow.
Right, so he's making the teachers responsible for the academic success of the children's. And and the school is going to be reaching out to children in Maryland, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, as well as Delaware. So any of those 4 states he'll be accepting young boys from.
Well,
And
how can you attend if you're in Maryland?
that's a good question. I kind of, it would definitely be a commute, no doubt.
Yeah,
But yeah, I guess further eastern Maryland, closer to the Delaware line, probably. Because see, we're further, in Prince George's County. We're further, what is it, south of Delaware. So, but there are some Marylanders that's a hop, skip, and a jump from Delaware. So he'll probably he's probably thinking of those children more
Okay.
so than on our end, because that would be about a 2-hour commute at least
Yeah, yeah,
for parents in this area. He's
yeah.
also requesting donations for repairs. So the school needs some repairs, not a lot, but he is requesting donations for that, and he's also seeking volunteers who want to come and volunteer at the school. What else I wanted to mention? So that's Umar Johnson's FDMG Academy for Pan African Excellence. What do you think about that, Hanifa?
That's pretty awesome because I know there was like a lot of controversy, like a lot of drama around this school thing and him. Like people, like anytime he's on a live or on YouTube, you can bet in the comment section someone is like, "So when we gonna see this school? When we
Yeah,
gonna see this school?"
yeah,
Yeah, and so it was just becoming really tiring and just annoying after
yeah,
a while. So I'm kind of glad that he was able to go ahead and kind of manifest it. Not just for the naysayers, but for the children. I
yeah,
guess we just have to wait and see,
yeah,
how that goes. But it sounds like a really good idea. Starting from 3rd grade, I thought it would be much younger, but I get like what you just explained. He is a psychologist, so he understands, child development and so forth. So he's focusing on the time when the kids check out.
mhm,
Yeah, I was just hoping it could be before, but I'm actually excited about that.
yeah. Me
I'm
too.
happy. I'm happy for Dr. Umar. It's always a good thing when we can get our own schools because we don't have too many. They
Right,
are there, but it's just not enough.
right,
Yeah,
right. I agree. I agree.
yeah,
I'll be grateful. I, for one, will be grateful when Pan African schools for our children become the norm and not the exception to the rule. And
yeah.
and I
I'm
also am hoping that um, he'll get support out there. He'll get more support. It's the critics come a dime a dozen. There's a lot, and even in all fairness, even myself, I was getting a little bit skeptic. Because I'm like, oh gosh, I supported the school financially myself. I gave to those donations and stuff, and it's funny because the peer pressure, you can hear a lot of the mulling going on, and sometimes that can get into your psyche, your own psyche. But
yeah.
I'm grateful that he has found a home for the school, and I'm hoping that the critics will, instead of going after him or looking for more things to criticize, that they be more willing to help the brother. Help the brother out as opposed to criticizing what he doing, because at the end of the day, what he doing is, if it succeeds, it will help us. It will help our children. It will help our community. So I want us to get more on board with good news, things like such
he
as this.
still he still has support. He has
Oh
support
yeah,
because
he
as much
does.
people,
Yeah,
yeah, as much people as you might see in the comment section kind of going at him, you see just as much people encouraging.
I agree.
So yeah, he do have the support, and I think that sometimes some things got to speak for themselves. If the school is a success, word of mouth is the best form of advertisement,
Mhm.
because people the word is going to get out. People are probably going to stop in. I'm wondering if he is allowing that for people to come, and like, probably only if you want your child in attendance, not just to be nosy. But I'm sure he's going to get support, even more support as the time goes by and as the school becomes more and more of a success. But he has them right now. It's
Yeah.
not just naysayers. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he also mentioned that he's looking to open a school by August 21st, 2020, next year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he expects it. That's I believe that's his birthday as well as Frederick Douglass's birthday, and so he
Mm-hmm.
wants to um do a whole big celebration and grand opening on that day. So yeah, look out for that.
Yeah, congratulations to Dr. Umar.
Congratulations, Dr.
Definitely.
Umar.
Yeah.
Yes.
And his team. I'm sure he has a team somewhere.
Yeah, no doubt. Good point. All right, what else you got, Hanifa?
I was looking at just kind of highlighting how important it is for us to help each other, specifically if you are able to, like, you are well off financially. And this goes to like more of the rap nation, that would be Jay-Z's team.
Mm-hmm.
They helped this young man named Jabari who refused to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, and I think the pressure that they put on got his case dismissed. He actually was arrested. His teacher, who was Cuban,
Mm-hmm.
in Jabari, just explained why he's refusing to stand. He just pretty much said, it's racist, the Pledge of Allegiance, and it's no good for black people. I'm paraphrasing.
Mm-hmm.
And the teacher pretty much responded and saying, well, why don't you just leave the country? Can you imagine? The teacher asked him, why don't he
Mm.
just leave the country? I think Jabari's about 11.
Mm.
Yeah. And so,
Jesus.
yeah. And then he
It's
said to
crazy.
her, I, w- I was brought here. I was like, listen to this 11-year-old letting the ancestors speak through him. But he was like, I was brought here. And she was like, well, you can always leave. I'm from Cuba, and if ever I feel like this country is not accepting of me, I'm going to leave. I was just reading that statement alone is it shows such privilege,
Mm.
um, because when people from other parts of the world, where like our brothers and sisters from the continent, for example, they can say things like, well, I'll just go back. You have somewhere to go back to, right? There's a lot of African Americans who are still trying to trace their roots. They don't know specifically where their people came from in Africa. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so when someone who is able to go have somewhere to go back to, I find it so offensive for people that have that privilege to say that to African Americans, who all they know is to trace their roots back in generations, maybe in Tennessee, North Carolina, wherever that may be.
Mm-hmm.
And for
Mm-hmm.
you to see you leave the country, I think it's such an insult.
I agree.
I think
Yeah.
it's such an insult. And so the teacher, as educated as she is, she was very ignorant in saying that to an 11-year-old. And so he refused, and she called they called the police, and he was escorted out. He was arrested.
Oh, okay.
So Rock Nation, Jay-Z's team stepped in, and helped him out with the case and everything, and the case was dismissed. So I actually felt like that was good, because oftentimes we hear like celebrities are not doing anything, and I'm like, they don't have to call you up, yo, Alqamar, we just did this and we just did that. You may not know.
Right.
It's not going to make mainstream media most of the time, because good news is no news in the society we live in.
Yeah.
Bad
Yeah.
news is what sells. Bad news is what gets the views. So good news like that, they're not going to report on mainstream media. You literally have to go and search for that. So when
Yeah.
we say that, before we speak, we need to know that there are people out there who are financially well off, like the Jay-Z's, right? Who
Mm-hmm.
are out there doing their part and helping as much as they could. They don't have to. They don't necessarily, owe it to Jabari to do it. But there are people out there, and I just felt that made my heart warm. He's 11 years old, and that act, I think he'll always remember that, and he himself might go on to help other people just because of that. So I thought that was good news. That was one of the things that I kind of focused on as well.
Yeah, good news. Jay Z's been kind of spreading his money around here lately in the community as far as helping out legally
Yeah.
for others. So kudos to Jay Z. If you guys are just tuning in, this is the Empower Hour. I am Alqamar. We have a split screen going on with Hanifah on the other end, and we're talking about what's the good news. So often we focus so much attention on all the negative things going on in our community that we rarely see any of the positive when there are a lot of good things going on in our community. And I think personally the danger in that is that we get comfortable. We get comfortable with the negativity and
Yes.
the glass being half empty, and then we become hopeless. We don't see that there's we don't see the beauty in our existence because we're so focused on all the negative things. So I think it's important to highlight the positive things because there are good things going on in our community.
And the news that we get fed, the mainstream media feeds us, is so fear based.
Right,
It's so fear based, and so there's a lot of fear that's instilled in us because of that. You
right.
have, the stuff that they report in the news as far as other countries. It hinders people from actually traveling, because they believe
Yeah,
like this is how this country is. If I go over there, I'm gonna get blown up. Somebody's gonna blow
yes,
me to pieces. I'm not going over there. It's dangerous. So it's a lot of fear
yeah,
that's fed. And so as much as we can, we need to highlight the good things, the things that give people encouragement and give people hope.
yeah,
Yeah. For at
yeah.
least a better tomorrow, a better future.
No doubt, no
Yeah.
doubt. So I wanted to mention this the Tulsa Real Estate Fund. You guys remember that last year?
I remember, yeah.
Yes, the husband and wife couple kicked off a real estate fund where you could actually invest into.
Yeah.
Well, they just opened a 30,000 square foot building in Atlanta. Yeah, shortly after its launch last June, the Tulsa Real Estate Fund, the first African American owned crowd fund, embarked on its mission to be a capital partner and funding source for local Atlanta area investors, developers, and deal sponsors. So their first project, and they purchased a 30,000 square foot building in East Point, previously owned by Atlanta-based management company Carter Brothers. So they're going to see it's going to be a myriad of different things. On one level, they're doing a entrepreneurial incubator and production studio. I was excited about that. So they're
Hmm.
building a full-fledged studio. Um, the space also includes an airy atrium, offices and cubicles, conference rooms, lounges and kitchen space, event space, and of course the production studio space. The one of the exterior homes is labeled Black House, so they're not sure exactly what is coming there, but one of the places is going to be a Black House. So yeah, and let's see what else I can tell you guys. So then, it just talks about the building itself and the structure of it and what it looks like. It's the site plan shows the development will take over an entire block bordering Springfield Avenue and South 17th Street for all you Atlanta folks out there.
Hmm.
It's scheduled to begin construction this summer, and the 60 units of market rate housing. Wait a minute. I hope I'm not mixing up two stories. I think I'm mixing up two stories.
You mixing
Yes,
up
I
two
am.
stories?
I'm going into another whole story, but no. Okay, so yeah, Tulsa Real Estate Fund family has just purchased a 30,000 square foot building. So yeah, congratulations to all the family members who bought in to that
Yeah.
fund because there was a
Yeah.
lot of them. I think they went, in 24 hours, they made like something like $6 million in 24
Oh,
hours or
really?
something. Yeah, it was a huge success. So now you're about to see your money working for you. Yeah, that's
Wow.
exciting.
Wow. So this building is just gonna be what? It's gonna be it's a multi-purpose building.
It's
It's
a
gonna
multi,
be
it's going to be a multi-purpose building, including a production studio. So I'm excited about that. So they're going to do a full-fledged media
Oh yeah.
production
Okay. Yeah, yeah,
studio.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I guess
Okay.
it'll probably be similar to this on a grander scale if I have to guess.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
congrats. Congrats to them on
Which is
that.
which is excellent because the more media studios that we can build and be able to get our own information out there to the and
Right.
get especially with people like them heading the way because the mind state therefore you know therefore the building of black people
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
minds of black people and so
Mhm.
when those type of minds are behind the scenes making the spokes and the wheels turn. I'm excited because it's a counter attack on what's already out there in the media as it relates to us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I have who did I have? I'm sorry, I don't have my notes in front of me. Um, there was another thing I wanted to highlight. Oh, I saw an article about a beauty supply store, the first black-owned one in Tennessee. These people have other these particular black people already have some other beauty supply stores in other parts of Tennessee,
Mhm. Mhm.
but in this particular area, they were able to bring one in, and in the first day that they opened, they were able to make $50,000
Mhm.
just in the first day.
Oh
And I was,
wow.
yeah, people lined up to support. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I know. I was like, yes.
Beautiful.
Because I think when we talk about, like, first of all, black people spend like somewhere in the billions, right? As far as beauty supplies and so forth, weaves, hair, all of that. But it's an Asian dominated market, right?
Mhm.
So when I personally think that we go to these places because there are no obvious other options, right?
Mhm.
Because if I live in Germantown in Maryland and the only beauty supply black owned is in Baltimore, I probably don't want to take that ride all the time.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
there's an Asian one around the corner from me, and so it's just more convenient, right?
Mhm.
Specifically in the winter. Specifically in the winter time. So I think when we talk about this, we have to be realistic, and I think that's really what's happening. But I personally feel, because I feel as a black woman, a beauty supply store is a beauty supply store, Alqamar.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
As long as it's carrying what I need, I
Mhm.
don't think it necessarily, wherefore, I don't think most black people are focused on, I am going to buy from this supply store because they're Asian owned. No. I
Right.
think that if there are more black owned beauty supply stores, there will be no problem as far as support.
Right.
We just want to make sure you carry in what we need.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
That oil that I use for my skin, that particular eyeliner, that lipstick, that particular weave, that brand of weave, as long as you, those wigs, as long as you have those, and there are barber shops that actually support these beauty supply stores because they sell things for barber shops too.
Right.
As long as you're carrying what I need, you're going to get my business. I don't think that we go into beauty supply stores even thinking about, now I think black people are a little bit more conscious because there's this whole black support black businesses or support your own or buy black movement going on. So I think that we are a little bit more conscious to the point where if I walk into a beauty supply store and I'm looking for something specific, I feel a little uncomfortable now, whereby before I may not have. Because now you're like conscious, like, do I want to put money in these people's pocket? And the answer is usually no. You're conscious, be like, nah, girl, you don't want to do that. But you don't have any other options. You're like, okay, where's the black-owned beauty supplies? There is one right here on Annapolis, not Annapolis, on where was this for Central Avenue? Did you know that?
No.
Yes, there's one right down Central Avenue. There's a shopping center that's across from the subway. It's inside of that shopping center. I think it's called Mary's Beauty Supply.
Okay.
I think it's owned by an African lady.
Okay.
I've been in there before, and whenever I need something, I don't really need to go to the beauty supply store, but I don't go to the beauty supply store anymore. But when I do need something, like I needed a Afro wig for 80s party or something, that's where I went to get it. But I don't, she's so tucked away that most people don't know she's there. And it's also a new store. If we know that you're there and you're conveniently right there, we're going to support.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really shocked when they said it was a big turnout as far as support is concerned for the people in the community. I wasn't shocked at all.
Right.
Yeah, and so they made that $50,000 in that one day. I was really, and I applaud that. I was excited. You know, I was really happy about that because the beauty supply store, just even here, nail is kind of hard because the Asian people kind of have that on lock, and they're able to have them like in every corner. You know what I mean? We're starting to get them here and there. But they have them on like every corner, and that's really why black women are in there.
Yeah, that sounds like some great marketing technique that Tennessee put in place, and it enables in order for them to get such a large turnout. So that's key too. I think some of our black-owned businesses want to be low key, and I've heard some business owners myself talk about that they they don't necessarily promote publicly that they're black owned. They just do their thing. But I think in this era of where we are today, I think it's pretty wise to promote to black people that you're black owned because it's a wave, it's a trend now that's and so that could be beneficial to your bottom line, I think.
And so if our audience, if you're watching and you're a black-owned business, don't be shy about specifying that. Don't be shy about saying that. We want to know who you are. You know?
Because there's people out there physically keeping their money in their pocket until they get to a black-owned business. So you definitely want to promote that. I think it's good for business, unless you just have a different business model or structure. Then that too.
Yeah, they showed the line wrapped around the building. And just like I said when I go back to Georgia, I'll try to visit. But just like the slutty vegan. Yeah, like that's they really a lot of just people sharing alone. Because I think I saw it on Facebook. And I was like, oh, it's a vegan spot, and I've been to some vegan spots in Georgia before. But now they said, even now, I know someone that went maybe a week or two ago, and she still had to wait in line.
Wow.
And they
that's
still
great.
have a long line.
Yeah, that's great. I want to highlight Queen Latifah, Jersey girl.
Yeah.
She's going home to build some affordable housing in New Jersey, where she's originally from. So, hometown star, Jersey-born native Queen Latifah is a developer now. Rapper, actress, producer is investing in a $14 million development of market-rate affordable units as the co-president of what's called the Blue Star Sugar Corporation. So, the project itself will consist of 20 three family townhomes with market rate units and a 3-story mixed use building. The building is going to be 1,900 square feet of commercial space, space for local nonprofits. Shout out to the nonprofits out there.
Mm-hmm.
As well as a fitness center and 16 units of affordable housing. Um, she was she was mentioning how where more than 20,000 families paid over half of their income went towards rent in New Jersey. And so she,
Wow.
according to a study in 2017, so they're attempting to tackle that issue in New Jersey. The project was initially proposed as a 2 mixed income buildings, which that would have been interesting, with more affordable housing totaling 115 units. But
Mm.
check this out. But the developer was denied the low income tax credit in order to do that. Go figure, right? By the state. And so they had to reshift the goal, and so no, they can't do the 115 units of affordable housing. So they had to contend with 16. They had to go with 16 instead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so and I wanted to really dig into that a little bit more, but I didn't have the time. Why were they denied this low income tax credit? It's interesting how, when we try to push to do things for our own, we get so
Mm-hmm.
much pushback. Yeah, but I don't know. I don't have all the answers to that. The rents will start at 1,800 a month. I believe that's for the um, business portions of the units. The rent start at
Okay.
1,800 a month. And so they're looking to, and this is where it's going to be. That's why I had mixed the stories together. Springfield and Avenue and South 17th Street is in New Jersey, is where Queen Latifah's building is going to be, not the Tulsa real estate firm. My apologies. Um, and they're expected to be completed by December 2020. And then the mixed use building will be done the following year in 2021. So shout out to
Oh,
Queen
okay.
Latifah out there doing her part to give back to the community from whence she was born and raised. And yeah, so that's good news. Anytime
Yeah.
we're spending our money on something more than bling bling and cars and shoes and stuff, I think it's a good thing. Long term investments.
Yeah. That I think if you anytime someone could get back and give back to their communities where they're from, I think that should be applauded because
Yeah.
it doesn't always happen.
Yeah,
No.
we were in
Yeah.
we were in a sub. I forget who I was talking to recently about HBCUs and how a lot of our HBCUs are struggling financially because they don't get the endowments from the alumni. I think I'm saying that right. I'm saying that right.
Mm.
Thank you. I've never been to college, so all these college terms I'm always confused about. So
The
yeah,
alumni, yes.
right. And so, a lot of these prestigious schools, they have more than enough money, more than enough money because the people who graduate and leave there and do good in life give back to their colleges. And so they
Mm.
always have the money, the funding to be able to do all kind of stuff, give free tuition or do all kind of social science experiments, all you name it. But our HBCUs are struggling financially because the graduates don't normally give back the way these other students do. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, yeah. And so giving back, going back to Queen Latifah, I think it's so important to when you do make a name for yourself and you do make, what I'm saying, um, a good living for yourself, to be able to turn around and share that with those who are less fortunate than you are, who were in a place where you once were yourself.
Right.
So you can certainly
Right.
relate, to the struggle. Yeah.
So as far as entertainment goes, so we're talking about celebrity.
Mhm.
What do you think about the win that Spike Lee got at the
Oh.
Academy Awards?
Hmm.
He
Well,
wa-
well, congratulations,
yeah,
no
I mean
doubt, to Spike
it's
Lee. You know,
yeah,
for his win.
it's something big for him. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, he got it for Black Klansman, but you know, I think a part of me was just like, well, congrats to him for that, but not but. I also feel like he should have been got something because Black Klansman is not one of his best movies.
Mhm. Mhm.
I was like, you know, yeah, I skipped Malcolm X, like all of this other stuff. But
Mhm.
you know, it was a big win for him. He was very excited,
Mhm.
and so I'm like, congratulations. You know, of course, there was some chatter
Mhm.
around him changing his tone and you know all of these other things. But I feel like we could find a negative in anything.
Mhm. Mhm.
I really truly feel like we can.
Yeah.
Um, I
And
think I think that what I'm learning to do is there are people like, for example, I don't listen to Jay-Z music. We talked about Jay-Z earlier. I don't listen to Beyonce's music either, for different reasons. But it doesn't mean that, and I might have my own feelings around them. But if they do something that benefits or uplifts the community, I applaud that.
mhm.
I applaud that. I think we have a hard time doing that sometimes. So I'm glad that we're doing this segment, because we have a hard time doing that sometimes, where we might not agree with the system that's in place.
Mhm.
Like a Spike Lee situation is like it's about time. So you almost don't even want to applaud it. It's like okay, but you have to because that brother is excited, and if he's excited, I'm excited for him. You know, so I think we kind of have to kind of shift sometimes in kind of pinning people down to maybe one thing about them that we don't like, and we
Mhm.
use that to define the entire person. And most of the time, we don't even know these people personally,
Mhm.
you know, for the most part. So when
Yeah.
I see, yeah, when I see them have like a win and he's excited, I'm excited. So congrats to him.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely I pretty much blogged on this particular subject.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I did. I shot out some information on that. My biggest concern about us is how we look for validation through other people. And with this whole Oscars thing being uh, center stage in that, you
Right.
know, I see it as, you know, I wonder how life would be if we took some of our talent and interest and skill to create our own Oscar award ceremonies and do our own thing to where, you know what I'm saying, so we won't get upset if our best work is not being acknowledged and we looking to boycott, and then the next year they throw us a bone and everybody is excited and all happy and cheerful, and just a year before we were wanting to boycott the whole Oscars
Hmm.
because they don't even acknowledge that we exist. And so in my mind, I'm wondering, okay, was this just a just shut your mouth award? Okay, I'm tired of y'all
Oh.
griping. Here, take this so you can just shut up about it. You know,
Hmm.
or in 1 year's time, have they really now decided to love us and appreciate us? So that's
I wouldn't go that far, as far as love and appreciation.
that's my point. So it's
But
like,
yeah,
why do we
uh,
continue to keep on pressing to be a part of something that somebody else created for themselves, and are just, you know, choosing? Okay, well, we'll let you in a little bit over here. We'll give you an
yeah.
award here and there, as opposed to doing our own thing completely. Why are we so staunchly against that?
Well, I think the way I look at it is like employment. Like if someone is employed somewhere, right? That's the industry that they're employed with. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's like, you know, you may not, some people might not vocalize it, but some people may. it feels good to be acknowledged, to say, oh, you got employee of the month or employee of the year or whatever. You may not really care that much, but it doesn't mean that you don't feel good when you are kind of like acknowledged for that. So the way I look at it is like that's the industry that they are part of. I agree with you. I don't know if it's, I didn't look at it as validation. I look at it as, someone just rewarding that person for their work. Now, I agree with you. I think that we need to start, and we have the power to do that outside of these platforms, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of these platforms like the Oscars and so forth, we have the power to do that. I mean, for goodness sake, if we want something to go viral, we make it happen, Alqamar. As a people, we do that all the time because we do that with bad news and we do that with good news. So we have the power to do that. But I think as far as people like Spike Lee and them, that's the industry that they work for, I guess I would say. So I guess I look at it the same way someone would look at an employee, where it's like, yeah, I don't really care about this job, but then they're like, employee of the month goes to, and you don't care about the job, but when you hear your name called,
But you still happy to get that employee of the month? Yeah, yeah. I mean, I get that. That's what I'm
you're
saying.
still happy to get the acknowledgement, and you're still happy to get whatever reward comes with the acknowledgement. Thank you very
No
much.
doubt.
Thank you for my award. And then you might go back the next day to complain about the agency.
No doubt, no doubt. I
Yeah.
agree. That's why I started off saying congratulations to Spike Lee. This is not a
Yeah.
shot or a pop shot against Spike Lee at all.
Yeah.
I just
No, no,
know
yeah.
that we're going to continue to be disappointed as long as somebody else is running the show. As long as we're not holding the reins to our own development, to our own future, to our own everything, then
Right.
we're going to continue to be disappointed because someone else is running the show and we're in the show that they're running. So,
Yeah, but guess what? That's in so many capacities. That's like in almost all areas of our lives as Black people existing in this society. We really want to be fair about that, like
that's why I'm so big on separation.
I
That's
know.
why. Because we're going to always
There's
be.
no way around without separation. You're saying without separation, there's no way around what you're saying.
Not
As
really.
far
I
as,
mean,
yeah,
no. This
yeah,
is Babylon. This is modern day Babylon. So,
yeah. I got you.
in my eyes, and so what I'm saying. Look at the house of we go from the highest land, on down, and it's the whole system is run. It's a European, um, black men run. I mean, white men run the entire system. And
But
if
you
you
know,
want
you
your
know
own
what?
destiny to be seen or heard or felt, you gotta run your own system. Two lions don't share the same pride. They don't. They gonna fight to the death, and that's where we find ourselves. We're looking to be comfortable in a white supremacist system, and it don't work like that. Racist white supremacist system. It'll
Yeah.
never be.
You know
We're
what? You
fooling
know what's
ourselves.
interesting? You know what's interesting? The media, like we were so focused on Spike Lee,
Hmm.
that a lot of the other African American people that won, Oscars for different things were not even like acknowledged as far as by us. They weren't the focus point. It became about Spike Lee, and then there's this debate back and forth. But the people who the costume designers
Hmm.
for Black Panther,
Hmm.
the two women, they made history with their wins. They became the first African Americans to take home Oscars. But we don't know about those because, and this goes back to the social media and the media in general. It's almost like they tell you what you should focus on.
Hmm.
Like when we were getting ready to do this segment, and you said that, I know what you meant when you said, well, let me go do my research. Because now you have to go outside of the norm to find good news, which is ridiculous.
That's real.
Right.
That's
But
real.
these women, were not even highlighted and celebrated because the focus became Spike Lee. And I'm like, no, there are these other people that also won for different, different things. And the costumes in Black Panther, if you watch the movie, I mean, yeah, I think that's deserving. of these two
Absolutely.
women. Yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, so things like that. I'm like, yes, I applaud that. That's, and now someone like you or someone like me, we don't work in Hollywood. We don't, we don't work on production. We don't. That's not what we do. And so for us, I think it's a little bit. And I agree with you 100%. We see it all the time where we're seeking validation. But like you said, the people that run these companies that we work for, the people that are in charge of the school systems, like everything that you can think of, media, all of that are run by people who don't really care that much about us.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're going to always find ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
trying to get to that pinnacle, which is whiteness.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And in order to do so, a lot of people have to self-hate in order to reach the pinnacle of white acceptance, pretty
That's
much.
right. That's
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
yeah,
That's my point in a nutshell.
yeah, yeah. So what
Um,
else you got? Because I know we got 4 minutes. So what else
yes,
you
we don't
got?
have much time. Let me see. Really quick, Jaden Smith with his 20-year-old
I
self.
had that was my next
Yeah.
one. Okay, cool.
Yeah, Jaden is Will and Jada Smith's son. He's
Yeah.
20, and he's helping out over in Flint, Michigan with the
Yes.
water crisis, and
Hmm.
he is creating an eco-friendly natural spring water brand, and he's joining forces with First Trinity Missionary Baptist Church over in Flint to implement a system called the Water Box, which can help
Mm.
reduce lead and other toxic chemicals in contaminated water. The boxes are engineered through digital devices. Um, it said aside from his passion for the arts, Smith has been a fierce advocate for environmentalism. He says, I want to have something I can feel good about, that I can feel like it's changing the world. I'm not only being neutral with the world, I'm actually making the world a better place. So
Mm.
that's what he said when he asked about his brand during an interview with High Snowbiety. Um, yeah, then he said if everybody else could feel that way, that's a dream come true. I always wanted to be an advocate for humanity. So yeah, shout out to Jaden Smith over there doing his thing in Flint. He said the church has also given out over 5 million bottles of water to local residents. So
Wow.
they said this isn't the first time he's led a philanthropic effort in Flint. According to the Huffington Post, last year his company vowed to donate water each month to the city's schools until the water was safe to drink. Thousands of bottles of water were donated then. So Jaden Smith is doing his part and making the world a better place. So shout out to young Jaden, and already at 20 years old, God,
Yeah,
when you can get
yeah.
it, when you can get it young like that, wow, that's even more impressive, because at 20, so many, usually 20-year-olds are, that's all about me at that
Right, and
age.
I was gonna say I don't even necessarily think that, because some people like to throw in, well, they're privileged kids and so they have the means. I don't think it has to do with that. There are a lot of people whose kids have the means, and they're not doing, like good work in their communities and so forth. So I don't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily think it just has to do with they have the means. That might be a part of it, but I don't know
Mm.
if that's the motivating factor. Like, oh, I have money and I just need to find something to do with it. I
Right,
think
because
he has it.
because I'm sure he could find a whole lot to do with it at 20
Right,
years old.
It's 3 o'clock.
Yeah, so
right, and he has what is it? He has his own water brand, correct?
yes, he does.
Yes, he does. Okay,
Yeah,
okay, yeah.
yeah.
So I don't necessarily think that.
It's called
shout
Just
out to them.
Goods Incorporated.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes. Shout
Mhm.
out to them. I don't think that necessarily have to do with just having the means. And so he has the means and he has
The
the
will,
yes, the will, and the
hence
love
his
too,
daddy.
to be able
That's
to
the
do that.
will, not just the daddy will, but the willpower. Yeah.
Yeah, because this thing has been going on in Flint for quite some time too, hasn't it?
And that
Yeah,
interesting. Yeah, and it's another thing that we do. We forget. We forget quickly because there's so
yeah.
much going on and so many other things, and we focus our attention elsewhere and then forget that these people are still struggling over in Flint.
Because we are told what
But
to focus
I
on.
agree. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that's
That's
the
real.
part of it, and I think we have to slow. Because I know even with me, I'm trying to work on that. Like a part of it is tuning into television, right? I don't like the news. I don't like to watch the news, but there are people who watch the news every single day, you know.
Hmm.
And a lot of our parents and grandparents, they swear by the news. They believe everything that comes from their television, from the news network,
And that's
you
a
know.
dangerous place to be in this day and time. To get
Yeah,
all
and
your information from the news, that's a dangerous place.
yes, because not only is that's how we're programmed, that's also how propaganda is spread,
Yep.
right? And then that's also, how we're distracted because we're focused on what we're being told to be focused on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah, things like that, like Flint. Yeah, Flint is forgotten because mainstream not pushing that. They're not talking about the crisis in Flint, and so we are not focused on that because we're like robots.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
we have run out of time, family. This has been our Empower Hour. Hanifa and I come to you each and every Wednesday from 2 to 3 p.m. with impactful topics of discussion that affect our everyday lives. We wanted to tell you what the good news was out here currently in our community because, again, so often we just hopper and hamper on all of the negative things that we see and hear, and we can get into a habitual rotation of just that, just all bad news. So this was the good news show. And you can find Hanif and I on Facebook under the Empower Hour Talk Show. Please like us there and follow our page. And then all of our past episodes we upload on to YouTube under Miss Free the People. That is our YouTube channel. We encourage you to subscribe to us there as well. Until next week, family, take care of each other out there. Peace.